Railers tonight. Beautiful evening, full house crowd here tonight in Newton. Newton coming off a rather disappointing loss, a tough loss last week to Ark City down in Ark City. Both of these teams, Newton and Ark City, were scheduled to contend for the title along with Derby this year, but Railers had a few tough breaks last week and went down to defeat.
The coaches at the start of the season both thought Newton and Ark City would be very tough and would be two of the top three teams in the conference, so it was unfortunate for them to have to play each other that early in the season. Derby knows they have their hands full coming into this ball game. Newton has to be fired up. They don't want to drop back two games in the Ark Valley race right off the bat, so they've got to be fired up to keep themselves in position for the Ark Valley title, so they're going to be up and running.
Last week at Ark City, Newton used a well-balanced attack. Whiteside, your quarterback, was 5 for 13 for 57 yards. The tailback, Cab Kazadi, and Justin Harvey, the fullback, combined for 164 yards rushing. Newton outdistanced Ark City both rushing and passing, but unfortunately came up on the short end of the score.
Now the stats for Derby last week were much like Newton's and very balanced. Quarterback Barry Galbraith passed 16 times, completed 11 for 264 yards. His main receiver last week was Corey Gorley with 5 catches for 161 yards. Tyler Malik had 3 catches for 41 yards, and look for those two to play a big role tonight in the offense. Derby also had 2 fine performances from running backs last week. Jarrod Foster ran for 100 yards, and Shelby Wehrman ran for 85. So very balanced attack for the Panthers last week, and probably indicative of what we see all season, Ron.
Well, I think you're right, Terry. One note of change in the lineup tonight: Tyson Malik is going to be back at tailback, and I'm sure that's a welcome news for the Panther team and the fans. Not to discredit the job that Foster and Wehrman both did last week, combining for big yardage, almost 200 yards between the two of them, against a rather tough McPherson defense.
Well, the McPherson defense showed a lot of stunts to the Panthers last week, and Derby's expecting the same type of stunning from the Newton defense tonight. Last week against Ark City, Newton went to a stunning defense to try to offset some of the size that Ark City had over Newton, and even though they did get beat, they were successful. So Derby's expecting some of the same type of defensive activity tonight.
Newton, as you know, moved up to 6A this year and moves to District 8 in the 6A playoff status, so they'll take Northwest spot and go with the Dodge City, Garden City, and Hutchinson group, and which should make for an interesting playoff season for the Railers. Ted Jantz has kind of been on the short end of the stick the last few years against Derby, and I know he'd like to come away with a win tonight. He's got an excellent team, and he feels that he's got the personnel to play with Derby. Derby's a little bit bigger on the front line, going at about 220, 225 average across the line. Newton's going to be a little over 200, but they're quick and strong, and they execute very well. So it should be a very exciting game and a real test for the Panthers early in the season.
Well, it should be a good matchup. Newton's returning more starters than the Panthers are, but that's not going to be unusual for the Panthers all season long. Normally, whoever they come up against is going to have more returning starters simply because of the type of program that Coach Young and his staff has built as far as JVs and sophomores and freshmen. And in the Derby system, kids pay their dues and work their way up to varsity their senior year. So it's not unusual for the opposing team to have more starters. But don't take anything away from the Derby kids. They've have had an outstanding, especially the seniors all through high school, have had outstanding seasons. So they're ready to play, and they're going to match up with about anybody they play this season.
Terry, we're just about ready to get started. Newton is going to receive. Derby will be kicking off. Number 83, Chris DeVore, will tee the ball up on the 40-yard line for the Panthers.
Brandon Whiteside and Tab Kazadi are back to receive for the Railroaders.
Kazadi should be a familiar name to the Panthers. He had a first-team All-State fullback linebacker come out of here a couple of years ago. DeVore's kick is a high, deep kick. It's going to be fielded at the goal, in the end zone for a touchback. So DeVore's kicking looks like it's improved over last week. He had nice high kicks last week, good hang time, but didn't quite have that distance on it. So Newton breaks the huddle. They run a wing T offense. Whiteside, number 3, is the quarterback for Newton. Hand off to 22, wingback, cuts to the right side. He's going to be brought down after about a 2-yard gain. 3-yard line of the Railers, make it second down, long 7. Railers run Kazadi in motion again. Quarterback Whiteside keeps it, pitches forward, and fumble on the play. Looks like Derby got the ball. I'm not sure, Terry. They're indicating.
I believe they did.
They're indicating they did cover the ball, but
I think he's calling a forward pitch, so it goes down as an incomplete pass. Forward.
I guess you're right.
Situation, and that is not one of the strengths of their offense.
Kazadi and Harvey are the setbacks for Newton. Whiteside drops back to throw, looks downfield. He's got a man deep, throws deep. It's going to be way overthrown.
Good coverage by Tyler Malik and Nathan Phillips on that play. Nathan, of course, had 2 big interceptions in the first half last week against McPherson.
Whiteside does the punting also. Panthers have 10 men on the line. Gets off a nice spiral, gets it to turn over good. Foster fields it on the 40, slips one tackle, cuts across, he's up midfield, breaks another tackle, gets down inside the 45-yard line of Newton before he's brought down. So a nice return by Jarrod Foster. Set the backfield for you with the Panthers. Galbraith, number 9, will be at quarterback. Number 34, Wehrman at fullback. Tyson Malik in at tailback, 35. Gurley's at the wide out to the right. Straight handoff to Malik on the left side. Going to be stacked up after probably picking up maybe 3 yards on the play. That's the first carry of the season for Tyson. So Gurley comes wide right. Severin goes wide to the left. Wehrman's the lone setback. Malik's in the slot to the right. Hand off to Wehrman up the middle, breaks a tackle, gets inside the 35-yard line. Going to be close to a first down, about a yard short.
They're going to be weak right up the middle over the center if there's a weak spot in their defense.
One of the problems the Panthers had last week against McPherson was the linebacker stunning, and I haven't seen that this evening yet. High formation for the Panthers. Gurley's wide right. Quick hitter up the middle. Malik carries. He's tough yardage in there, but should have enough for the first down.
It was on second effort. He was stopped just short of the first and 10, but he spun off of it and fought for the extra 2 yards to pick up the first down.
Panthers break the huddle. Severin goes wide left, Gurley wide right. Hand off to Malik on the right side. Gets across the 25. Going to be a flag down. Nice run by Tyson. Good carry for a first down, but it's probably going to come back.
It's probably going to be a clipping out here on the right side.
Oh. 16 for the Panthers. Ball on the 39-yard line of the Railers.
Derby's seeing a lot what they saw last week as far as one-on-one coverage out wide. So look, Derby start to attack the one-on-one coverage on the wide people.
Tyler Malik is wide to the right. Hand off to his twin brother Tyson to the left. He's going to slip one tackle, picks up 5. Going to be hit hard right at the about the 34-yard line. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
2 carries where the gains are outside the ends.
Interesting thing so far this evening, we haven't seen Barry put it in the air yet, Terry, and it's a matter of time before that happens. Derby with 2 wide out, slot right formation. Quick hit to the fullback Wehrman up the middle. He's still on his feet, broke 1 tackle. Should have been stopped right at the 30, but Shelby slipped out of it, gets down inside the 25. Good second effort by Shelby, going to take it down, make it 3rd and a short yard. Malik is wide right. Pitch back to his twin Tyson. He breaks 1 tackle, gets inside the 20-yard line, so he'll have the first down.
Tell you what, that play will go for a touchdown for the Knights over. It's he slipped 1 tackle and he's got nothing but green grass in front of him.
It's credit for carrying the ball, but they sure do open up the holes for that tailback position. Severn's wide left, Gorley wide right for the Panthers. Wehrman and Malik the setbacks. Galbraith dropped straight back. Ball got away from Barry on that one, floated out, and just overthrew Corey on the right sideline. Sent in a wide receiver. Comes wide right. Corey Gurley's wide left. Wehrman in motion, handoff to Malik on the left side, cuts inside, breaks 1 tackle, gets down inside the 15.
Wehrman again threw an excellent block out there, shooting the outside linebacker off when he went in motion to allow Malik to slip to the outside.
Already had a problem with my brother
Pitch back to Malik on the right side. He's got the corner. He's going to get down close to the 5-yard line. He got inside the 10, down to around the 6 before he's driven out of bounds, so should have the first down. Timeout on the field, called by the Railers.
You can get the kids to adapt to.
We've been given a very luxurious press box here on open air in the amphitheater, and we're very grateful to the Newton staff for that. Malik's wide left for the Panthers, I formation. 1st and goal at the 6. Pitch back to Malik. Right side, cuts inside. He's going to score. Tyson goes in standing up.
There again, that's about the 7th or 8th time we've seen that play on this drive, and Newton just hadn't made the adjustments. Excellent lead blocking by the fullback, and also by Josh Rila, his tight end position.
Dick Hull will try the extra point, snaps down, kicks up, and it's no good. Wide left. So 5:40 to go in the first quarter, and the Panthers get on the scoreboard with a sustained drive.
Field goal frames are set up for College and high school. The local high school here in town uses this field also, and so they swing out to a wider spread for the college field goal.
I just had one of the ABC affiliates ask me why those goalposts were set up that way, and that's what I assumed it was that they turn them in for make it narrower. DeVore's kick is a deep kick. It's going to go into the end zone and out. So again, of course, he's got the advantage of the wind with him a little bit, but still an excellent job of kicking by DeVore, and ball will come out to the 20, 1st and 10 Newton. Break the huddle. They split a receiver wide right, wing left. Kazadi in motion. Whiteside's rolling out to the left. He's going to keep the ball. Be hit. Nice gain, but he's going to be driven out of bounds at about the 29-yard line of the Railers, so about a 9-yard pickup on that, just a little quarterback rollout to the left.
Troy Glazer is in defense for the Panthers at cornerback.
3-7-9 again, that's right.
Pizzati in motion, straight hand off to the fullback. He's hit right at the line of scrimmage. I don't believe well, I think they're going to mark it just at the 30-yard line, maybe just across, which should be enough for a first down.
That makes MAPES.
Railers come with a split left, wing right. Just a handoff to Pizzati out of the tailback position on the right side. He gets across the 30, up to about the 33 before he's hit. Second down and 7. Pizzati goes in motion. Whiteside rolls right, looks downfield, throws downfield. He's got a man intercepted by Tyler Malik.
Malik was lined up at the tight end position, and when they went in motion, he rolled off, and the zone rolled that way, and he rolled back and just into the center field position, and did a good job of getting himself back in position and going to the ball when it's up in the air. It is the Derby's advantage.
Panthers come out in a slot right formation. Hand off to Malik on the left side. He breaks across the 50 up into Newton territory before he's brought down. He gets across the 40 of Newton down to about the 39-yard line.
And I'm sure the coaches are glad to have him back in that backfield.
About a 15-yard gain on the play. His twin brother Tyler comes wide right. Corey Gurley's wide left. Pitch left. Tyson cuts back inside again, breaks a tackle, switches direction on the field. Ball stripped away. I'm not sure. They must have called it down.
They're calling it down.
Took it away on the rollover.
That was a good call. He was down before the ball was before he gave the ball up. And Malik just cuts it back against the grain and makes a nice gain of 7 yards. 8 yards on the play.
Ball's at the 32-yard line of the Railers. Second and a long 2. Hand off to Wehrman, the fullback. He's hit right at the line of scrimmage. He didn't go anywhere. They snuffed that one out.
Well, that's that stunning defense.
Tyler Malik goes wide left. Corey Gurley wide right.
And a quick slant.
Wehrman in motion. Pitch out to Malik on the right side. Flag on the field. Malik's going to be brought down short of the 30-yard line, so didn't get the first down, but there's 2 flags on the field.
One on this side, I think, is probably illegal procedure, and one on the other side, I'm not sure what it is.
I'd take Pam next through all that.
It's going to be interesting because where the ball sets, Derby's not far from them, 1st and 10, and on fourth and 1, they just may go for it.
Third and 9 for the Panthers. Panthers slot left, split Severn wide to the right. Wehrman's the lone setback. Berry drops straight back, rolls out to the left. He's got a man deep, throws downfield, broken up nicely, right at the 10-yard line. And I think the Panthers will probably put it up and kick it away. Ball right at the 39-yard line of Newton, so probably going to try and crunch it to the corner. Wehrman does the kicking for the Panthers. Good snap. He's going for the right side. He's going to let it go, and it's going to go back into the end zone. So the ball will come out on the 20-yard line. Newton will have the ball 1st and 10 on their own 20. Minute and 6 to go in the first quarter. Pizzati in motion, handoff to the fullback, 42 Harvey, straight ahead. He gets about 3 yards on the play.
Been able to gain, has been outside the line of scrimmage. So down the trench is going to be tough tonight.
Number 18, Ray Salas, a new quarterback in for Newton, who shared time last week against Ark City. Little inside trap, and that's going to be hit for a loss to Kazadi. Play by the left side of the Panther line on that.
Well, they stayed home and just waited for the trap to come back in.
It's going to be the end of the first quarter, so not necessarily a defensive struggle the first quarter. Derby's been able to move the ball, but a couple of penalties that hurt them in that last drive, Terry. So 6-0 at the end of the first quarter.
Ball in there a little bit more because they have not had much success running the ball against the Panthers.
Let's get ready to start the second quarter. Salas brings them out of the huddle. They're in a slot right formation. Salas drops straight back, looks downfield, throws downfield. He's got a receiver. Complete. He was number 89, Brown. And he was wide open at the 36-37 yard line.
Yeah, Salas, the Newton quarterback.
He was getting out and moved the ball down.
First and 10 Railers. Quarterback Salas keeps it around the left side, breaks through, and he's got a foot race down the right side. He's going to be brought down by number 26, Nate Phillips, but not after about a 35-yard gain.
That was a little option, and Salas got outside and didn't need to pitch to the option man because he could turn the corner himself, and he turned the corner and headed upfield.
So far, Salas, being the backup quarterback, appears to be the better of the two in running and throwing, but that's only after a couple of plays, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, we saw that last week with the backup quarterback from McPherson looked a little stronger than the starting quarterback.
Hand off to number 47, Etter, out of the fullback position, and he picked up maybe a yard.
Newton's got some good speed, and they showed it there on that play.
Salas drops back, rolls right, looks downfield, got a man open again at the inside the 30-yard line, down inside the 25. So looks like Derby's having a little trouble with pass defense.
Hey, one thing that's going to make it easy for the Railers to get their passing game going is Derby right now is not getting any rush on the quarterback a little bit, or at least get in their face.
First and 10 Newton at the Derby 24-yard line. Salas keeps it around the right side. He's going to cut back inside, and he's hit right at the line of scrimmage hard. Might have been a fumble on the play. There is, and Derby recovered.
That was an excellent hit by the Panthers. Nice hard hit by the Panthers, causing the fumble. Jeff Raylander in on the tackle.
Was on it. First and 10 Panthers at their own 23-yard line. Two wideouts for the Panthers. Hand off to Malik, a little misdirection. He pops off of one tackle, hit again, still on his feet. Now he's broke about 5 tackles, and he's still on his feet across the 50. Now, Terry, I've not seen a run like that lately. I'm not sure he's going to score, and he did. No flags. That's unbelievable.
I tell you what, he was hit hard, and he was wrapped up, and he got everything he got on second and third effort. That brings back memory last year against West in district play when he did the same thing, breaking tackles to really pull Derby back into the ball game because Derby was beat at that point, and that's pure gut and effort on Malik's part.
That's a 76-yard run that was stopped after about a 2-yard gain, and he just kept breaking tackles, Terry. Panthers are going to have to call timeout for, must be missing a player.
Somebody short on the specialty team. I'm not sure I agree with taking a timeout. A 5-yard penalty on an extra point really doesn't hurt you. Go ahead and take the 5 yards. You're kicking it anyway, and there's not much difference. at that point, where they're kicking from the 7 or the 12s.
I think that run put Tyson over the 100-yard mark for the first half, Terry.
Well, Tyson, I'm sure one of his goals is to make all league, and he started one game behind everybody else, so I'm sure he's thinking he's got some yards to make up, and he will get them made up this year.
Panthers line up for the extra point attempt. Galbraith will set it down at the 10-yard line. Holt will do the kicking. Good snap, ball's down. It's a fake. Throw out in the flat, and Josh. Now it's to Shelby Wehrman out of the out-back position, and it's good, complete, 2-point conversion.
Tell you what, they had Newton fooled on that play, and they were looking for the kick, and Barry did a good job of not showing it until right the last second.
Newton had a sustained drive going down inside the Panthers' 25-yard line, a fumble, and 2-3 plays later, the Panthers got 6 points. DeVore set to kick off for the Panthers. He'll hit it at the 40-yard line. Going to be kicking into a fairly good breeze. Kick is up. It's a deep, high end-over-end kick, going to be fielded right at the 1 drop. Pick back up. Good coverage by the Panthers downfield. Going to stack the Newton runner up about the 17-yard line.
First and 10 from their own 17.
Sal is still the quarterback. Wheeler's in a slot left. Kazadi comes in motion. Hand off to the fullback, 42, Harvey. Might give him a pick up about a yard, maybe 2 yards on the play, bring up second down and 8.
From tackle, about everything they've done so far tonight as far as gaining yardage has been outside the ends for Derby.
Edder's in motion. Salas drops back to pass, but brought down by a hard rush by Josh Riedel, and I'm not sure who else was in on that.
Riedel went in from his defensive end position untouched, and I'm not sure Salas ever saw him. He put a big hit on him.
A 7-yard loss on the play, so bring up third down 15 for Newton. Ball sitting on about the 14-yard line of the Railers. Edder, Harvey, and Kazadi are in the backfield along with Salas. Kazadi in motion. Salas rolls right, looks downfield. He's trapped. He's loose. Breaks one tackle. Is going to be brought down close to the 10-yard line after a lot of scrambling. Good pursuit by the Derby defense.
Start this offensive drive in good field position.
Whiteside will kick it away, standing in his own end zone. Foster's back deep to receive for the Panthers. Gets off a nice kick. It's going to hang up, going to field it at about the 45, and just lost his footing as he tried to take a step and goes down about the 44-yard line of Newton. So good field position for the Panthers. It's wide left. Severin goes in the slot to the left. Panthers have been breaking that eye a lot this year, Terry.
Well, they've got a lot of speed, and they want to capitalize on that speed and get some people out where they can throw to them and use the speed.
Galbraith drops back, looks downfield, throws deep, had Severin open and Riedel also, but overthrew Aaron at the down inside the 30.
They're both open, and Josh Riedel came from his tight end position underneath the zone across the middle, and was probably the third receiver in the pattern.
2 wideouts for the Panthers. Tyson Malik in the slot to the left.
Pass again.
Early. The late flag on the play.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be some unsportsmanlike or something. I'm sure from what I saw, that was a real late flag thrown after the pass was incomplete.
Barry just dropped straight back in one of those timing patterns, let it fly down the right sideline, but overthrew his receiver. Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Railers.
Tell you what, that's real tough. They had Derby 3rd and long. They'd stopped him in the first 2 plays, and that's going to give them a 1st and 10.
On the line of scrimmage because it's from the point of the infraction, so that'll put the ball inside the 30 at about the 27-yard line. Severin comes wide left for the Panthers. Worley's wide right. Wehrman and Malik the setbacks. Galbraith drops straight back, looks out in the flat again. The ball sails on him, and he overthrows it poorly out in the flat.
Newton's doing a good job on the pass coverage. They are up tight on them. They're staying with the wide people real well.
Nate Phillips checks in the game now. This is the first time we've seen him tonight as an offense. Goes at wide right for the Panthers. Worley comes way wide to the left. Galbraith rolls left, looks downfield. Quick pass over the middle to complete to Shelby Wehrman, the fullback. He breaks 2 tackles, cuts back inside, still on his feet down to the 5-yard line. So either some awful good running or some bad tackling by Newton or Derby, one or the other, or a combination of both.
Well, I think
Quarterback rollout, fullback pass, fullback coming out of the backfield out of his set position, and that's just been an excellent play for the Panthers over the years. They don't use it a lot, but when they do, it gains good yardage for them. That time it picked up about 25 yards. Time back in, 6:55 to go in the half. Panthers up 14-0. 1st and goal on the 6-yard line of Newton.
Corey Gorley split right, double tied in.
Hand off to Malik inside. He's going in for the touchdown, but there's a flag in the backfield, which I'm sure is going to be a procedure penalty.
Tyson just a little quick there, and about a half count early. Sure, Derby's going to get another chance at it.
That was just a tailback off tackle, actually off the guard on the right side, and he went in untouched. Procedure against the Panthers. Panthers have got 2 tight ends in the ball game. Malik and Wehrman are the setbacks. Hand off to Malik again, and he's stopped, breaks a tackle, and almost got away again, but somebody had a hold of his foot and stopped him, or he might have scored again.
Boy, he was trying awful hard to pop it outside, and had he gotten loose from that one grasp on his leg, he'd probably gone on into the end zone.
Worley comes wide left. Another equipment timeout. Pizzati has a problem with something, so he's going to come off the field. Panthers will have Corey Gurley wide to the left, 2 tight ends in.
Go right again.
2nd goal from the 8. Fumble on the snap. No.
What was that for?
Procedure call against the Panthers before the snap, so he's going to move it up back 5 more yards, and this is one of those kind of self-destruct modes that you get in sometimes.
Derby take advantage of this field position and get some points on the board, but they're going back the wrong way right now.
Gurley and Severin are the wideouts. Foster's in the slot to the right. Wehrman's the lone setback. 2nd and goal from the 13. Galbraith drops straight back, throws to the corner. He's got a man over there, but overthrows him out of bounds, so it'll be incomplete. Bring up 3rd down goal from the 13. Tyson Malik comes back in at tailback. Corey Gurley goes wide right, 2 tight ends in.
the play was set up to hit Malik coming out of the backfield on a little delay, and had Barry had time to set up, Malik was going to be open in the left flats because nobody picked him up coming out of the backfield.
Because they're going to go for it on 4th and goal from the 26-yard line. Two wideouts with Foster in the slot to the left. Galbraith drops straight back, looks downfield, has got time, throws deep, Scott Foster wide open. Outstanding catch. Outstanding catch. Diving catch by Jarrod Foster down the middle.
Great pass and great catch. And the thing is, you knew exactly where Derby had to throw the ball. They had to throw the ball in the end zone because it was 4th down. And I'm sure that the Newton secondary are going to hear about that at halftime.
Well, it was just an excellent effort on the behalf of Jarrod Foster because he was completely fully extended, caught the ball in flight, and came down in the end zone at the back of the end zone for the 6. So Galbraith puts it down, Holt's kick is up, and it's good. So 4:46 to go in the ball game, and the Panthers put 6 more up, 21-0.
Job on that series, and one play let them down.
Well, it was a well-thrown ball by Barry because he had to throw it deep enough, as you say, to get it in the end zone, the back of the end zone, to overthrow the defender, and just an excellent job by Foster to bring that ball down. He had to have a lot of concentration on it.
Position players for the Panthers, as the season goes along, they're going to prove themselves.
Number 23 is back deep to receive. A high kick, long fumbled at about the 3-yard line. Picked up, hit hard, right short of the 20-yard line, and there's a fumble, and I think Derby recovered it.
They're calling it down. It'll be Newton ball about the 19-yard line. Excellent special team play by the Panthers. Tyson Malik is in on defense this time. I think it's the first series we've seen Tyson in on defense.
Brandon Whiteside, number 3, back in at quarterback for the Railers. Quick hitter up the middle to Kazadi, number 22.
Tackle
32, I'm sorry. There's a new
made,
face in the backfield.
He's going to be counted on for big things by the Panthers this season.
Little misdirection, handoff back inside to Kazadi. He's going to pick up about 3 yards on the carry. Newton comes out of the huddle, splits a receiver wide left, wing right.
No white, yes.
Handoff to number 32, Nose. That's the second time he's carried the ball. We haven't seen him this evening that much, but first carry he picked up about 12 yards, and that's going to be good for about 7.
Made some adjustments and maybe opened the middle up for Newton just a little bit.
3rd down 2. Ball right about the 43-yard line of Newton. Power I formation for the Railers. We haven't seen that this evening. Straight handoff to the tailback, and he's going to be stopped probably at the line of scrimmage. Might have got a yard on the play. Kazadi, the ball carrier, coming out of the tailback's position.
The Railers don't want to take the chance to turn the ball over to Derby this deep in their own territory.
Well, it's going to be about the length of the football short, which is certainly didn't look that close from the sideline, but then they never are. Jans is up his sleeve. They come out in a formation to go for it. It wouldn't surprise me to see them go with a long count. Power I formation for Newton. Whiteside's the quarterback. Panthers are stacked tight. Handoff the fullback, and he is hit right at the line of scrimmage. I don't know if he got it or not.
He may have made it on second effort, but he was hitting the backfield, and it's going to depend on the spot. He's not going to have it.
They just moved it.
He's not going to have it.
He was hit before he got to the line of scrimmage. Now, whether he got further on the second effort or not, I don't know, but according to the spot, I'm going to say no.
The Panthers, and he was met a yard behind the line of scrimmage.
No, he didn't get it. Actually lost a little bit. Not much, but good defensive stand by the center of that Panther line. They're going to take over 1st and 10 with 2:30 to go in the half. Gurley comes wide left, Severin wide right, I formation. Malik and Wehrman the setbacks. Barry Galbraith drops straight back, rolls left a little bit, throws downfield. He's got a man open. Gurley's open at the, he drops the ball. He just underthrew him a little bit. Had him open downfield inside the 10.
Galbraith took a pretty good shot on that pass. Excellent pass. It was just a pump and go, and Corey flies down the sideline.
For the ball a little bit, otherwise he probably would have caught it and did have it going down, but was knocked away at the last minute, so just a little bit underthrown. Panthers split the receivers wide and left. Severin goes in the slot to the right, or Foster. Galbraith rolls out to the right, slips a tackle. He's going to keep it, comes downfield, breaks another tackle. Flag down on the field.
Call made by Jerry Galbraith. Stop by Carlos Netter.
Holding going to be against the Panthers, so Panthers haven't had any small penalties when they've had them. Panthers break the huddle. Worley comes wide left. Severin's wide right, I formation. Galbraith drops straight back, looks downfield, throws deep. Just ball's hanging up on him, throwing that deep into the wind, Terry, and it's intercepted.
That's going to be real tough into the wind. It is a strong head when he's thrown into, and Barry's not getting much time to get set back there and get anything behind the ball. Punt, really.
Right, Terry. Newton breaks the huddle, sends a wide receiver right, wing left. Kazadi's in motion, handoff to the fullback straight ahead. He's going to be hit right at the line of scrimmage. Might even have lost a little on the play. 2 wideouts for the Railers this time. Whiteside drops straight back, throws out in the flat. Ball's incomplete. Had a man open out in the left flat, but threw behind him a little bit, and he had to reach back, drop the ball.
That's a minute to go back inside their own 10-yard line. I think they'd be content to run the clock out and go down, go in at half down 21-0. If they throw an incomplete pass here, they'd be forced to punt the ball back to the Panthers and give them one more time, one more opportunity before the half.
58 seconds to go in the half. 3rd and 10, Newton. Kazadi in motion. Whiteside rolling right, throws right downfield. Pass intended for number 47.
There's a flag back at the line of scrimmage. It was a late flag.
Pass is incomplete. It was underthrown. Good pass defense by the Panthers.
The penalty is against the Panthers. Illegal receiver downfield. Or gets Newton, illegal receiver downfield. I think you see the Panthers turn that front line off if they do get the kickoff. Derby be coming hard on this.
They've got 10 men on the line, and they're dug in. Foster picks it up on the right side. He's going to got the start of the corner.
He was one man away from getting outside the wall, and if he'd gotten by him, there'd been a good chance he'd return it all the way.
I'm sure we'll see Barry put it in the air again. Panthers go with 2 wideouts, I formation. Great handoff. Barry rolls out right, throws downfield. Got Wehrman in the flat, open, breaks one tackle down inside the 20. And again, Terry, that's the fullback pass that virtually works every time.
Well, he's got to be picked up by a linebacker coming out when he comes out of the backfield, and when he comes out off tackle, that linebacker's inside of him. So he when he breaks into the secondary, that linebacker is usually a step behind him, and very soon that and picking it up and just floating the ball out to him.
Panthers have it 1st and 10, 24. Well, we got a flag for something. They barely started the clock, so I'm not sure what that's going to be. Procedure against Derby, I'm going to guess the center moved the ball. Which usually they let them turn it a little, but might have turned it a little too much. So that moves it back 5, make it 1st and 15 at the 25.
23 seconds to go in the half.
Wehrman's the lone setback for the Panthers.
On the fly.
Galbraith drops straight back, throws out in the flat to the left. Pass intended for Gorley is underthrown. No time for 2 more plays, probably, Terry. Phillips checks in, Foster checks in. Malik goes out.
That's number 33. 33.
Gorley goes wide right, Phillips wide left. Foster's in the slot to the right. Wehrman's the lone setback.
33. 33, that's what he's going for.
Galbraith's pass is complete down to about the 2-yard line with 7 seconds to go on the clock. Just an excellent pass over the shoulder catch by Galbraith, and the ball's 1st and goal on the 2.
Tell you what, that ball couldn't have been thrown any better, and it was right there. And Derby with 7
seconds to go, 1st and goal on the 1. Probably would be Malik either off tackle or a pitch wide, and with the success he's had, you'd think he'd have no trouble getting in, but
well, I'm sure they're going to be stacking it up real tight from tackle to tackle, and Malik does have a good knack for popping outside when he knows that there's not anything inside.
Worley comes wide left, 2 tight ends in for the Panthers.
Going right side. Going right side. Gonna be the Malik, right? He's gonna jump over.
7 seconds on the clock. Straight handoff to Malik, cuts inside, goes in standing up, fumbles the ball, but it's well after he crossed the goal line. So
He was 5 yards deep when the ball flew out of his hand, and I think he went in untouched. And I think Derby was saying we're going to use our strength, and this is our best play. And here we go.
So for his first game back, Tyson's having an excellent evening.
He's having a fair night so far. He come back. He was eager. He was hungry, and he shows the intensity that he plays with.
He offers. Well, there's another penalty. Motion against the Panthers. I'm not sure who moved that time. 5-yard extra point. Snap is back, Holt's kick is up, and it's good. 5 seconds to go in the half. Excellent time management and field play by the Panthers on that last drive, Terry.
There again, we talked when Newton had the ball and was down 21-0, and instead of electing to simply run in the clock and regroup at halftime, they ran some plays that did need to clock up and gave Derby an opportunity and good field position on a drive. And it's really, when you're already down, it's tough to give up another touchdown with 5 seconds to go in the half, and it really deflates a team that's already behind. We've seen when we've been on the road, Newton fans really support their football, and they have an excellent crowd tonight.
Well, they always have, Terry, and most of the Ark Valley League schools are that way, which I found very complimentary to the league and the teams that play in it.
Key matchup going on tonight, Dodge City and Wichita Knight playing Wichita East, and Derby's fortunately had an opportunity to be in position to play Dodge City at the end of the season for the past several years.
DeVore's kick is fielded right at the 1-yard line, brought out to about the 23-24 before the time runs out on the clock. So we're going to go into the halftime. Derby's up 28-0 after a very impressive first half of offense. Got it?
It's about like the one we found out.
Just to recap a little bit, for the first half, Derby taking a 28-0 lead against the Newton Railers. Derby played good football. We did not get any official stats at halftime. but unofficially, we've been told that Malik has approximately 150 yards rushing. Barry Galbraith has to be close to 100 yards passing, all those on 2 or 3 big passes. Derby playing a pretty good half of football, Ron. Not a whole lot of mistakes, not a lot of penalties, and really put a pretty good half together.
Well, I think you're right, Terry. There are a lot of big plays in the first half. Actually, a lot of outstanding plays run by Malik, 76 yards, I think, hit probably after a 2-yard game. I don't know how many tackles he broke, and they were hard tackles, hit him high and ended up scoring from 76 yards out. Galbraith's touchdown pass to Foster, 4th and goal from about 25 out, and hit him fully extended, just an outstanding catch and pass. The last drive by the Panthers with less than a minute to go on the clock, and they take it down and score. So a lot of good things happening, and for the Panthers, and a lot of not so good thing happening for Newton, which I think I'm sure they're disappointed with. I think Coach Jantz felt that Newton was going to be able to play with the Panthers tonight, and certainly he's wanted to do that for several years now, and it seems like Derby's just dominated them the last few years.
Well, for the people that followed the seniors throughout their high school career, they're virtually undefeated as freshmen and sophomore and junior varsity. So, you know, it's not unexpected for them to go out and have a big season this year. But based on the number of starters they have coming back, everybody thinks that they have a shot at Derby this year. And of course, when you've had the success that Derby's had in the past, that means everybody's going to get up for you with the success they've had in the past, going along with the number 2 ranking that they have this year in 6A. People are going to be fired up, and I know coming in last week, McPherson felt like they had probably the finest bunch of kids that they've had in quite a while, and couldn't play with Derby. And like we talked early at pregame, Newton was one of the top 2 or 3 teams picked in the Ark Valley this season. So they definitely felt like they could line up and play with the Panthers. So I'm sure they're disappointed. They've got to settle down. They experienced some of the same stuff that Derby did the first half, and they made some mistakes, and they did have a good sustained drive, and then stopped it themselves with mistakes and penalties. And right now what they've got to do is regroup. They've still got half to play, and they need to regroup and go out and get something going early in this half.
One of the things that's kind of stood out for Derby on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively, I think we've noticed is a lot heavier, quicker charge by the front line coming off the ball on offense and defense, certainly meeting the backs of Newton in most cases right at the line of scrimmage, and certainly pushing their defensive line in the backfield and opening up some holes for both Malik and Wehrman, bigger than they did last week, Terry.
Well, that's one thing about the defense this year. They don't have the size that they've had in the past, but they do have probably as much quickness as they've had in the past, and they are a very aggressive bunch of kids, and they will go out and hit some people. And I think last week the coaches were pleasantly surprised at how well the defense had played, and there again this week they've put a goose egg on the scoreboard against Newton in the first half, and they do take pride in their defense.
We got 10 out there.
Ready to start the second half. Derby will receive. Panthers up on top of the railers, 28-0. So certainly in a comfortable position, but we remember the last game of the year last year, and they were up on certainly on top of an excellent football team, but 23-0 at the half, and all too well we heard the story. They went down to defeat 27-23. So I look for the Panthers to come out just as strong as they did the second half. Probably throw the ball maybe a little more the second half. Kick's going to be taken by Foster on the 5-yard line. Comes right up the middle behind a wedge. Breaks one tackle. Kind of lost his balance a little bit and couldn't regain it. Brought down right at the 20-yard line. There is a pretty good breeze down there. Panthers come out. Gurley goes wide left. Nate Phillips goes wide right. Malik's in the slot to the left. Fullback trapped to Wehrman. Going to be a flag way back up the field. Picks up about 15 on the carry, but flag clear on the other side of the field. I'm not sure what that's for, Terry. Awful long ways away from the play.
Somebody took another step over there if they were lined up offsides.
That's
procedure against the Panthers.
Tyler Malik checks in at a wide receiver.
With this strong wind, we're probably going to see Newton throwing the ball in the third quarter with wind behind him, so it's important that Derby pick up some first downs and eat some of that clock up.
Hand off to Malik, and he's hit in the backfield. Good penetration by the center of the Newton line that time.
Back over the tackle, because Derby had some great success in the first half, and I'm sure Newton made some adjustments to stop that specific play.
Phillips is wide left, Gurley wide right. Hand off to Malik on the other side. Breaks 2 tackles on the right. He's got the corner across the 30. Across the 35, still on his feet. Breaks another tackle on the sideline by Kazadi. Gets down out across almost to the 45-yard line. Just another outstanding run by Tyson Malik.
That's about a 30-yard gain, and he did a good job. He has such a quick burst of speed, and he pops it quick and heads outside, and it's a foot race. And there again, it's going to be hard for one person to make an open field tackle on him as hard as he runs and as hard as he twists and turns. Excellent.
Right at 30 yards, Terry. First and 10, Panthers ball just across their own 45. Straight handoff to Wehrman. He breaks a tackle. He gets out across the 50 down inside the close to the 45 of Newton before he's brought down.
There again, Derby went to the set that spreads everybody out, and with people spread both sides, the linebackers for Newton are going out to cover him, and it opens the middle of that lineup. Good surge by the Panther offensive line that time, right at the middle.
Panthers break the huddle, be second down, a long one. Gurley and Phillips are the 2 wideouts. Pitch out to Malik on the right side, cuts back inside. He cuts a seam. He's still on his feet. Just excellent balance. Breaks a tackle. Going to be a late hit. I'm not sure I'd have called that, Terry, but the ref did. Derby will sure take it.
You know, once your knee hits or once any part of you hits again, you're down. So you know, I guess I can see the call, but it is a tough call because the player sees his momentum still going forward, and it's hard for him to pull back.
The official saw it a little different. The flag went down. They'll mark 15 off from that spot, so that's going to move it down inside the 20 to the 15-yard line, first and 10.
Tyson doing a good job of following his blockers and seeing the hole when it opens up, and that offensive line doing a good job of opening some holes for him inside the tackles.
Tyler Malik in the ball game wide left for the Panthers. Wehrman goes in motion. Pitch back to Malik to the right, to the left. Doesn't quite get the corner. He's going to pick up maybe a yard, 2 yards on the carry.
Backers are moving them out just a little bit, so they have made the defensive adjustments to stop that play, and that's probably why Derby's had a little more success up the middle.
You'll hear the Malik name mentioned several times. It gets a little confusing. This is a little unusual to have 2 twins both starting offense defensively for a team. Handoff to Tyson. Malik cuts back inside, breaks a tackle, still driving, gets down inside the 10, close to the 5-yard line. Just a good power run by Tyson that time.
Type of runner that you can't let him hit the line of scrimmage without touching him, or he's going to punish you, and he's not getting touched at that line of scrimmage, so he's got a full head of steam up when he meets a defensive guy.
Panthers with 2 tight ends, and Gurley split wide right. Pitch back to Malik on the right side, cuts back inside, big seam for him, gets down close to the goal line. Touchdown signal by the referee.
Well, that was a late signal. It sure looked like he made it up here, but the signal came in real late.
Well, the refs closest to the play made no indication. The referee on the far sideline signaled touchdown, so I don't see any of the Panthers arguing with the call.
That was an excellent drive that the Panthers put together, pretty much error-free, and started deep in their own territory back about the only moving back to the 15-yard line, so they actually had to sustain an 85-yard drive.
Galbraith spots it, Holt kicks it up, and it's good. So 7:26 to go in the third quarter, and the Panthers move out in front 35-0.
Maybe I couldn't believe that beat Galbraith like they did. is Corey Gordon?
Doesn't know.
No, Corey. He goes. He's trained there.
DeVore set to kick off for the Panthers. It's a high end-over-end kick driving down to the goal line. He's going to let him run it out. Good wedge behind him. Breaks across the 20 out to close to the 24.
That was an excellent return. I'll tell you what, Ron, that is a great kick against the wind to kick it down to the goal line. I think it's probably over 200 yards rushing for the ball game, Ron. An excellent first game of the season for him.
Whiteside, the quarterback for Newton. Handoff to Kazadi coming out of the wingback position. Breaks a couple tackles. Excellent pursuit by the Panthers down the line. He's going to pick up about 2 yards on the play, maybe 3. Evan. Raylor's split a receiver left. Go with a wing T formation, wing right. Quarterback keeps it. Whiteside keeps it around the right side. Gets across the 30-yard line to about the 32 before he's hit.
That may have been a broken play. Looked like he may have dropped the ball coming out of the center.
A big defensive play for the Panthers here. 3rd and 3 for Newton. Whiteside drops straight back, looks downfield, throws deep. He's got a man wide open deep. And hit him right on the numbers, and he dropped it.
Tell you what, that ball couldn't have been thrown any better. And
Punt. Kirby has 10 men up tight. It's away an end-over-end kick. It's going to be fielded at the 35 by Foster. Cuts the field, jukes inside once or twice, and awful lot of flags going down late. One late one.
I don't know what the flag could have been because I didn't see anybody down there except black jerseys and Jarrod Foster, so I'm not sure what the flag is.
Probably going to be calling a possibly a clip or illegal block. And it's a clip against the Panthers. I'm not sure how that happened. I didn't see any black jerseys around, white jerseys. Phillips, the 2 wide receivers for the Panthers. Wehrman and Tyson Malik, the setbacks. Galbraith, the quarterback. Galbraith rolls left. He's going to have pressure brought down. He'll be sacked for a loss of about 10 yards on the play. I'm not sure who missed it, but two black jerseys came straight up the middle. Panthers go with 2 wideouts again. Malik and Worley, the wide receivers. Galbraith drops straight back. He's got pressure again, and something's breaking down in the center of that line because there's 3 or 4 black jerseys that time. He's down inside, well, clear back to the 5, so we're going the wrong way right now through there because they're basically coming through untouched at this point.
Derby may have to go to some type of quicker pattern, but Barry isn't even getting the time to throw a quick pass.
Hand off to Wehrman. He breaks through. He's on a foot race now. Shelby Wehrman breaks 2 or 3 tackles, gets out across the 35, and gets a first down, Terry. Now, I'm not sure what the breakdown there was, but it was an obvious fullback carry the ball play, and nobody touched him.
It was a 35-yard gain, just a fullback dive right up the middle, and that gets awful frustrating for a coach when you make a couple good plays and send them back and get 3rd and long, and then you let them on basic dive play, gain 35 yards.
I'm not so sure, Terry. There was such a big hole there, you might have been able to get that far.
Well, I'd probably still be running.
Panthers split 2 receivers wide. Hand off to Malik, breaks breaks a tackle again, gets around the left side across the 40. He's going to be brought down about the 41-yard line, but again, he's breaking tackles. They're hitting him and just not bringing him down, so I'm not sure they're not wrapping him or he's just bouncing off. Again, Tyson's got to be pushing 200 yards for the night. Two wide receivers for the Panthers. Handoff to Malik on the left side. Cuts through a seam. Across the 50 down inside close to the 47-yard line. So just another good job of blocking on the right side of the line. And Tyson found the seam and picked up another first down. Tyson's brother, Trent, a few years back was an outstanding tailback for Derby, having 2 years his junior and senior year, both over 1,000 yards. And Tyson's well on his way to that this year, having over 500 last year as a backup. Handoff to Wehrman. He breaks a tackle at the line, cuts down inside the 40. Another flag down in the backfield, and
that's going to be a clipping down the right side on Corey Gorley, and I'm not sure he clipped. Corey was holding up, and I'm not sure he even hit the guy.
Make any difference how far it was? They'd figure out a way to pick it up.
Well, you know, it's the whole night's been the big plays that's hurt Newton's. 75-yard gains, 40-yard passes. But they do well on 2 or 3 plays, and all of a sudden they get burnt.
Hand off to Malik. He's across the 50, back and breaks another tackle down across the 40 before he's brought down close to a first down. Going to be about a 2 yard to 2 yards short, depends upon where they spot it, but again, just about a 15-yard carry by Tyson Malik. Surprised if Tyson doesn't go over 200 yards tonight, and probably seriously threaten the rushing record for Derby, which I think is about 210 or 13 yards that was set a couple years ago. Slot right for the Panthers. Galbraith drops straight back. Have a lot of pressure from the backside by Kazadi, and he just never saw him coming, and nobody picked it up. And Barry's going to be brought down hard from behind for about a 7-8 yard loss. That's putting that pressure on the quarterback.
I'm not sure if I was Derby, if I'd go ahead and run this play. There's only 5 seconds. I'd wait and get the wind with me the fourth quarter, not be in a hurry.
Well, they didn't get it off. I'm surprised they were going to try to. You're right, Terry.
You know, it's an obvious passing situation. As strong as that wind is, you want it behind you instead of in your face. And secondary, when they do get some charge from the front line and don't get very time to get set back there, they've done a good job of stopping the passing game of the Panthers.
Newton has an outstanding linebacker, number 75, goes about 260 pounds, 270, and he plays middle linebacker for the Railers. Panthers are over the slot left formation. Galbraith pitches back to Malik on the left side, cuts back inside, breaks one tackle, but not so sure if he wouldn't have stayed to the outside. He might have picked up the first down, Terry, but still picks up about 5 on the carry. I'll bring up 4th down and about 5, so I'd be surprised not to see the Panthers kick it.
Well, I think they'll go for it. Their defense has done a good job of stopping the Railers, and with this lead, they want to eat the clock up and hang on to the football.
Well, you're right, as usual, Terry. Panthers put 2 wideouts out. We'll make it 4th and 6. Galbraith drops straight back, looks downfield, throws out in the flat, complete to Barry Galbraith, I believe. Yes, complete.
Corey Gorley.
Corey Gorley, I'm sorry. Barry can't complete it to himself very well.
Tell you what, that was a timing pass, and Corey just turned around just in time to see the ball in his hands. And excellent pass.
To the 34, 1st and 10 Panthers. So again, doesn't seem to make any difference what the distance is. They seem to figure out a way to get it. Severin comes wide right. Gurley goes wide left for the Panthers. Foster in at tailback. Little misdirection to Foster on the left side. Gets across the 30 down inside the 20. still on his feet, going to be driven out of bounds at about the 19-yard line. Might be right at the 20.
Tyson's last play for scrimmage. You know, he is nursing that injury. This is his first week back. I'm sure the Panther coaches don't want to risk him getting hurt anymore.
Number 49, Aaron Robbins, in now at fullback for Wehrman. It's a 210-pound junior. Flish and several of the wide receivers. Hand off to Foster. Misdirection play around the left side. Will be driven out at about the 15, 14-yard line. Josh Burnett in at center. Galbraith still in at quarterback. Foster the tailback. Robbins in motion. I think he cut up a little quick. Excellent move by Foster. He's going to get down inside the 5 to 10 for a first down, but again, I'm not so sure that Robbins, the fullback, went in motion, might have cut up a little quick.
He does. The guy in motion has to go parallel or away from the line of scrimmage, and it looked like his last step or two was towards the line of scrimmage. There again, Robbins doesn't play that much at fullback, and I'm sure it's just lack of experience back there on his part.
Flish and Severin are the two wideouts for the Panthers. Foster the tailback, Robbins the fullback. Robbins in motion again. Misdirection to Foster, back inside. He might pick up 3 or 4 on the play before he's brought down inside the 20 at about the 18. Be interesting to see if the Panthers attempt a field goal at this point to give Holt an opportunity to.
Well, they do have a good wind behind him, and he has enough leg to reach it from here.
Take a shot at the first down. Going to need about 8 yards, 4th and 8. Malik and Flish are the wideouts. Pitch back to Foster on the right side. Cuts inside, doesn't quite get the corner, and going to be brought down about the 14-yard line. So stopped about 5 yards short.
Jarrod Foster,
Burby's done a good job this second half of eating a lot of time up off on the clock. I'm sure down 35-0 with 8.5 minutes on the ball game. We're going to see the Railers start to put the ball in the air a little bit more and test that secondary of the Panthers.
And Newton's doing some substituting also. Whiteside's still the quarterback. Hand off to 42. Harvey out of the wingback slot. He'll pick up about 5 on the play.
Smith checks in the secondary for the Panthers. Also have Jackson Sobing in the secondary. Panthers getting an opportunity to get a lot of guys in the ball game this evening. Jason Ingram or William Ramsey in at defensive end for the Panthers.
17's in at a linebacker safety. Little mix-up on the snap that time. Whiteside, I think, recovered it himself. Center of the Panther line brought him down.
A defensive back. Number 40, Chuck Holt, checks in at a linebacker position.
Whiteside drive to pass, complete out in the flat. Number 85, we haven't seen him this evening. 80 Newton. Ball will be on the their own 26-yard line, 1st and 10. Brown goes wide right for Newton. Pizzati in motion. Quarterback Whiteside keeps it on the option play. He was slowed down there at the last minute there. I'm not sure why. He had a corner.
Well, part of the responsibility on that play is the trailback or the tailback keep a cushion between he and the quarterback, and he didn't keep quite enough distance.
32-yard line of Newton. I'm sure they'd like to get 6 on the board and not get shut out this evening. 5:37 to go in the ball game. Basically, an all junior varsity lineup in the game now for Derby. Whiteside's rolling out. He's being chased by a couple of Panthers. He's going to get the corner. Put a nice shoulder into a Derby defender, and
Kevin Godwin ball without the name. Did they score last week?
yeah, I believe so, Troy. I think they put one up. I think. Whiteside hands off to, I don't know what that was, but it was a forward lateral. He's going to call it an incomplete pass, which as long as it's behind the line of scrimmage. And now there's a penalty back here, which I'm not sure what this one's for.
Well, I think what's called,
here.
if it's a forward pass, and you got linemen down the field. So if it's forward, it's a forward pass, and you got guys down the field. That's why it's a late. He had to wait to see if it was called a forward pass or not.
Yeah, that's a good. Going to pick the flag up. Playing up 2nd and 10 for Newton. That was an awful risky pitch. Wing right for the Railers. Encroachment by the Panthers, I believe.
Justin Williams at nose guard, just a little anxious, and I'm sure he saw the guy go in motion out of the corner of his eye, and that's probably what he picked up and came across the line.
Out of the end zone, because basically Newton's still going with its starting team. They want 6 points, and I don't blame them.
15 in there. He played like that first half. That's the only one.
Motion, fumble on the play. I don't know who got it, but there is a fumble. Derby's pointing they do. And they do, 72 for Derby.
That's Matt Hupp, who checked in at the left defensive end, senior for the Panthers. So he comes in and immediately does something great for him.
I know it isn't. It's in the middle. Number 11, Troy Glazier. The junior will now check in at quarterback for the Panthers. And the Panthers are going to call timeout again. 88, William Ramsey's in at a tight end. He's a sophomore.
Ron, our statistician tells us that the rushing record for the Panthers is 211 yards, set in 1992 by Aaron Rusher against the Newton Railers. So they've been susceptible to some good rushing. We don't have the official rushing total for Tyson Malik, but if he hasn't broken, he's got to be pushing it off close.
That's interesting. I believe in 1991, Tyson's brother Trent had 210 yards against Wichita Southeast in a district game played in the ice. So it'd really be nice to see Tyson get that record this evening, but more importantly that the Panthers win, and it was a team effort. Pitch back to 41, a new tailback in. He's hit hard, but Scott Reed's the ball carrier, 175-pound sophomore. And he picks up about 4 yards on the carry.
We're seeing a lot of new faces.
P.J. Smith's in.
A lot of new faces for the Panthers and for Newton on offense, but I think Newton still has their first-team defense in from what I've been able to tell.
Holt's in at fullback, Reed the tailback. Handoff to Holt, the fullback, breaks 2 tackles across the line, still on his feet, gets down inside the 50, close to the 45-yard line of Newton. It'll be about a yard short of the first down. 4:21 to play. I don't care. Two wideouts for the Panthers. I don't think you'll see the balls in the air. 83, Christopher's in at a wide receiver. Handoff again to number 41, Scott Reed, sophomore tailback, and he carries for about 6 yards, enough for a first down. Ball inside the 40 to about the going to be spotted right on the 39-yard line into the ball game for the Panthers as a wide receiver. Holt and Reed still the setbacks. Pitch back to Reed. Good hit by a Newton defender, Casati, and he's again, Newton has basically kept their starters in as a receiver. 22, Josh Newhall in the game now, another sophomore for the Panthers. Plays your handoff to 46. John Dillard, senior tailback. He picks up about 3 yards on the play. Bring up 3rd down and 5. Coach Young just doing a lot of substituting right now, giving these the reserves a lot of playing time, which is good because they're the ones that make that starting offense and defense what they are during the week.
They're doing a good job of playing error-free ball and blocking up front and using the clock up, and I'm sure that's what the coach is looking for.
Pitch back to Dillard again, cuts inside, gets down inside to 30 for a nice carry by him, but there's another flag in the backfield. I'll tell you what, Derby's had a lot of penalties again tonight. Motion penalty against the Panthers.
Troy, a junior quarterback backing up Barry, younger brother of Travis Glazier, walk on at Emporia State, graduated last year from Derby High School.
Hand off to Dillard. He gets around the left side, still on his feet, down inside. He's going to be driven out at about the 24, 25-yard line, so that carry's good enough for a 1st down.
A 15-yard gain, and he showed some speed getting outside and did a good job of staying on his feet and getting all the yardage you could out of it.
Running out of the tailback position. Holt's still in at fullback. Number 5, Art Ballou, is in at a wide receiver now. Pitch back to Dillard again around the right side. It follows his blocking well. Gets down close to the 20-yard line. Another flag down on the field.
Derby's doing a good job of eating the clock up, but the penalties keep moving back and losing ground.
Tough matchup for him. Independence, I believe, came up to Wichita last week and quite handily defeated West or East 55-0, I think.
Independence has a very good program down there. They usually are battling Coffeyville for the supremacy of the southeast part of the state. Ron, I believe it was Heights that Independence beat, if I recall.
Thanks, Terry. Dillard's breaking tackles again, but not getting anywhere, unfortunately. He's carried the ball a lot here in the last 2 or 3 minutes. Probably getting a little tired. 3 players in every play now, so everybody's getting a lot of playing time. Straight handoff to Holt, the fullback. He breaks 2 or 3 tackles on his feet. Inside the 20, he's going to score, Terry. Down in, touchdown.
That was just an excellent run, fullback dive, and he did a good job of picking his holes and breaking a tackle or 2 and taking in with 15 seconds to go in the half.
Chuck Holt is, I think he's a 3rd-team fullback, 190-pounder junior, but he sure ran like he was the starter on that play, and a good hole on the left side. Went in from about 30 yards out.
That's one of the things, like we talked about, Newton still having their first-team defense in, but they're not fresh. And when you start putting fresh legs in, and Derby is developing some depth, and they just keep coming at you.
Right.
You gonna get the interview?
Extra point attempt. Let Chris DeVore take a shot at that one, and it was blocked. So 15 seconds to go in the ball game. Derby puts one more up there, and I'm sure that Ted Jans didn't like that, but with the 2nd and 3rd team players in there, there's not much you can't tell them to lay down on the field. 41-0, Panthers up on top. DeVore set to kick for the Panthers. Should be time for this kickoff return and possibly one or two more plays. DeVore hits it. Going to be fielded right at the 3-yard line. Brought back upfield. Good pursuit by the Derby special teams. Going to be brought down on about the 18-19 yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Newton on their own 19 with 9 seconds to go in the ball game. Rather a one-sided game. Derby came away from that game in the rain 62-0, and I know Coach Young tried to hold that score down last year, but didn't happen. Time runs out on the field, so the Panthers put another one in the win column for the year. 2-0. Panthers go out in front in the Valley, 41-0 over the Newton Raiders.
What was the final score?
41-0.
Okay, we lost track up there.
I think, yeah. Because Chuck scored
missed-
at the end. Missed the extra point.
We're here with Coach Young after the 41-0 victory over the Newton Railers. Coach, good ball game.
Well, thank you very much. The score is kind of a surprise. I really felt it's going to be a lot closer than this.
Well, I think it was, thought the kids looked a lot better coming out and cut some mistakes out that they had last week, and I think really saw a lot of improvement in the team this week.
Well, I thought our hitting was real good. I thought both offensively and defensively we really got after people, but at times maybe too much. I know we had several holds and clips and that type of thing. We had just entirely too many yards and penalties, and had a little bit of a problem protecting our quarterback. So we played well, but we could even play better.
One of the nice things was see Tyson Malik back in the backfield again, and we don't have the official stats, but he had to be real close to Aaron Rusher's single game rushing record of 211 yards against the same Newton Railers, and he had a tremendous ball game for his first game of the season.
Oh, that was great. It was really fun to watch him. You know, he had some fine blocking up front, but when the blocking wasn't there, he always tacked on a bunch of extra yards.
Well, we've just been told that the official yardage is 235 yards for Tyson, and that will be a new Panther record. And I know he felt like he had some catching up to do, missing the ball game, and he has some personal goals he wants to set. And it's nice to see him get started off on the right foot.
Well, we sure did miss him last week, and it's great to have him back.
I thought not only Tyson but some of the other running backs and the ends did a good job of breaking some tackles and running hard.
Yeah, everybody run real hard. I was real impressed with the way Shelby Wehrman run. He broke a lot of tackles out there, and the times he carried the ball. It was a good. We hit well tonight. I think that was the most impressive thing about it. Our kids really came out and outstuck them.
There again, an excellent ball game. Next week you're at home against Hutchinson. What do you expect there?
Well, we don't know a lot about them. I'm sure they'll be a lot better team than they were last year. They kind of come out and gave up against us last year, and then they had a little bit of a turnaround after our game, and they played quite a bit better towards the end of the year. You know, the main thing we're looking at is trying to eliminate a lot of the mistakes that we're still making. We played well tonight, but we think we can play even better, and hopefully we're going to do that next week.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Coach Young, and we'll see you next week at home against the Hutch Hawks. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.